Okay then, here we go. So as promised, here's a review of something I know a lot of you are going to love. There's the name there, the manufacturer. Richard is the man, and this is the beautiful Pfalz D.VIII World War I German fighter airplane. So I know you're going to love this. I did the video last night. Today is Monday. You were seeing this on Wednesday. So yeah, today is Monday. Yesterday I got this off of Richard at Telford. When I came back, I did a review or a video all about the bits and pieces I picked up at Telford and asked what you wanted to see first, and a million of you said you want to see this. Maybe a million is a bit of an exaggeration, but 90% of you that commented certainly said you want to see this first. And just as I said in the video, I know Charlie Gretsch is going to have one of these on his bench. I just hope that Richard actually ships abroad. But anyway, there we go. So Aviattic.co.uk, that's the company there, and you can see there a Gotha being shot out of the sky. And here's a review. My kit arrived this morning. On first lifting the lid of the beautifully decorated box, my breath was taken away by the sight of the very high quality of all the elements of this kit, from the instruction manual and decals to the cast 3D printed and etched components. Excellence prevails. Over the years I have built many top quality kits of ships, locomotives and cards, but this Pfalz kit beats them all for professional quality. Thank you, Richard. And this is a customer message after receiving his Aviattic 1/32 scale Pfalz D.VIII kit. And there it is, built up. And what a little beauty it is. So and Richard's just made a comment here. Every Aviattic product is developed and produced with passion, a dedication to accuracy and a love for the subject of World War I aviation by a team of enthusiasts united in one goal, the pursuit of excellence. Beware of imitations. So there you go. If you go and look on the website, I know Richard has an amazing range of stuff. I was looking at some of his kits yesterday, and he has sort of kits where what he's done, he's made decals, he's made photo etch, he's had 3D printed parts made, and then he puts Rodin sprues in a box. So you end up with one box with everything you need, with all the upgrades and everything to make that Rodin kit a thing of beauty rather than just something out of the box. So very, very nice indeed. Go take a look and you will like what you see. So here we can see the front of the box, the beautiful artwork. The camera is not zoomed away because I'm going to be looking at it this way obviously, but there you can see the beautiful box, the beautiful artwork. And here on the end you can see there's the Aviattic kit number. Okay, 012, scale 1/32, Pfalz D.VIII. And you can see there's an emblem in the middle. That's actually stuck over something there, so that was obviously an afterthought. So here we have on the side of the box a warning: not suitable for children. Kit contains small and sharp parts. Resin dust can be harmful if inhaled. Yes, bear that in mind all the time, guys. Please wear a suitable particle mask when standing and work in a well-ventilated environment. Assemble using cyanacrylate epoxy resin and solder with caution. Aviaticsales@gmail.com. So we've got tailored lozenge decals included. Same here, we've got the Pfalz symbol there. And then going over here, there are several colour schemes included. So here we've got Pilot Unknown, Yasta 14, standard edition only. And then we've got Paul Baumer, Yasta 2, Bulk, PIM edition only, whatever that means, P1M, PIM. So you can see there's the two versions pictured on the box. But from what it looks like, there are more than two versions in the box. Just one thing I want to say. The decals that are in these kits, apparently, I'm led to believe, and I've heard this on a number of occasions, that the Wingnut Wings decals have some inaccuracies in their patterns. So I don't know, because obviously I wasn't there, but this is what I've heard people say. But the other two things I know is, one, Wingnut Wings cartograph decals, as you would have seen from my Fokker E4 build, they sometimes have a problem staying down. They don't like to go down, and Ray's confirmed this. Ray is the master of all things World War I, and Ray Rimmel has confirmed this. He's experienced the same, and he suggested using heavily thinned PVA as a sort of water to put them down onto, and that's what I did. Or what I found in the end, as you know, I used this one here, Mr. Mark Setter Neo, which I notice now comes in a round glass bottle for some reason. Why change it? I don't know. But Mr. Mark Setter Neo, I think this is basically a thin PVA glue, but it does work very well. If you haven't seen that, go back through my World War I series, Wing series, which is in a playlist in these videos, and you'll see where I was playing with decals. And please don't comment that I use masking tape to show how well they'd stuck down. Of course I'm not going to use masking tape on a freshly unvarnished decal, of course, but I'm just showing as a comparison as to how badly or how well they stuck down with different solutions. But at the end of the day, whatever you're doing with a Wingnut Wings kit, those decals are going to be many years old, sometimes 10, 12 years old. So old decals always seem to cause a problem. So worth having a look here to see what Richard's got for you, because he's got a lot of tailored decals for certain kits, and he's also got the generic decals. And something I can't wait to get my hands on, I didn't realise he did them, was canvas decals. So if you've done a World War I or a World War II truck, or even a modern truck with a canvas tilt on the back, you can get this decal that goes over it and it will look like actual canvas rather than trying to achieve that painted on look, that canvas look. So having a look inside the box, it is beautiful quality and it is very weighty as well. I haven't looked in here at all. I did see a glance through the instructions yesterday, and I did have a glance through the kit. But unfortunately, some people had stolen parts. So Richard's good enough to put a kit there with the instructions to the side so you can have a look and see what's in there, and people steal the parts. So that's very good of them. So we've got another one of those cards in here with the lovely comments from the person who bought one. So we've got the instructions here. Very nice, very thick manual. How many pages? Where are the page numbers? Where are we? Lots of original photographs. I can't see any page numbers. We have photographs of the real thing as well. No, there are no page numbers there, but that is pretty thick and pretty heavy. That's probably 70 odd pages in there. So at least 60 anyway. And then here we have, what's this? This is an image. Decals. Okay. So these are probably printed by Cartograph, or I'm not sure where he has his decals made, but yeah, they are very, very nice indeed. So we also don't have brilliant white, which is another issue you'll find with some other manufacturers. These crosses will all be brilliant white, and it's all a bit too harsh. You can see this is like a cream colour. If I take something white and put it next to it, like, here we go. No, that's no good. What have I got here that's white? If you use the white of the box, you can see that it's definitely a cream colour. So that's really good. We've got the fuselage flashes there, and we've got the card in there to keep them nice and rigid. And then we have another lot here. So these are actually tailor-made. So these are cut. You can cut these out to the exact size. You've got all the ribbing tape there on them. And you've also got the lozenge pattern, and we've got wording there to tell you exactly where every piece goes. And we've got another lovely image there of the real thing, the card to keep it stiff. So it looks like they're his own decals, to be honest. There's two sheets in here, so let's have a look at this second sheet. We'll have a look at the decals in a minute. We'll do the instructions first. So we've got a card here, signed. That's obviously one of this, Lieutenant Paul Baumer. So there you go. Very nice. And then we have some packing material here, which we won't review because we don't generally review packing material. Although, yeah, this stuff is water soluble, so if you have a friend who goes fishing, this makes great gram bait apparently. So in here we have, as you can see, we have some more packing material there. All beautifully packaged, all well protected so nothing gets damaged. It looks like we've got a poster here, which is nice. So we've got a poster of the box art perhaps. We have a poster there, beautiful poster. Juanita, I've done this before and I think I messed their name up. Juanita, I'm not sure, Franzi, Aero Illustrations. So there we go, I'll find out off Richard how you actually pronounce that. And there's a beautiful image there of the box art. So very, very nice to have on your wall, in your hobby room or in your living room or wherever you want to put it. Very nice. What did I do with that rubber band? There it is. I'm going to put the rubber band back around it so we can keep it all perfect. So there we go. I couldn't believe actually Ray's got one of these and he was going to send it to me to review, and I sent it back to him. And all I did was speak to Richard yesterday and sort of ask the question, you know, what features are there about this kit that I should really be concentrating on? And he said, don't get Ray's, have one of these. Here you are. There we go. So thank you very, very much. We've got some cast resin there. We've got some more cardboard bits and pieces here, and I don't have any fingernails to pick them up. I'm not sure if that's little stickers, but yes it is. It's little stickers of the Pfalz insignia, so that's very nice. Little afterthoughts like that, they all make the difference, don't they? And then basically, as I say, we've got a box of cast resin, photo etch, 3D printed, all sorts. So very nice indeed. Right, so let's start as we normally do and have a look at these beautiful instructions. I may need to do some adjustments because this may be glossy. Is it glossy? Yes, let me turn this light off and see if that's ample. So, as I say, beautiful instruction manual. Lovely image there of the actual aircraft from August 1918 on the back there. Really nice. And then here we've got the lovely sort of canvas look to the front cover. Just oozes quality. It's just absolutely oozes quality. Can't believe it. So we've got here a parts list, so that's nice to see. And for those of you that do pocket kits, they are working on it. I have spoken to them and they were already aware of the issue with not having parts lists in there. I think every kit manufacturer should put parts lists, especially if you've got individual parts like this. Because the problem is when you buy these kits and they don't have this, you've got nothing to check it off against, and you're halfway through the build and you find out one of these cylinders is missing, for example, you know, or that part there is missing. With this beautiful, I think these are all made with gas patch, but with this beautiful packaging it become obviously clear if there's a part missing. But say one of these pieces on here were missing, you wouldn't know until you get there, and then you've got to stop the build. Whereas if you had it there, you could go through it, check everything off, and if there is an issue, contact the company. So anyway, that was the chair squeaking, nothing else. So you can see we've got a list of photo etch parts here, and we've got the 3D parts here. Yes, it is gas patch. So all these beautiful 3D printed parts, and you've seen my reviews of gas patch in the past. So here we've got some words about the aircraft itself, a real history about it and everything, and that's done by Richard himself. Cotswolds, he's in Stroud, UK, November 2023. So a year ago that was written. Just shows how long these kits take to come out. So here we've got the Siemens Halsk SH3 engine. So you can see we've got the 3D printed resin parts going together here. So we've got the engine back plate, I'm assuming. Yes, it is the back plate. So that's the main crankcase there in the middle. Remember, this is a rotary engine, guys, not a radial. So the whole engine spins. The crankshaft is actually fixed to the aircraft, and the propeller is fixed to the casing. So the actual engine casing spins around the crankshaft rather than like on a radial engine. This is a rotary, not a radial. If I just said radial, I'm sorry. This is a rotary radial engine. Obviously the crankshaft spins within the casing, and the casing is bolted to the frame. So we're adding the cylinders here. So we've obviously got a few of those. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cylinders. They're always odd, aren't they? Weird. So we've got 11 cylinders going on with their with the push rods and everything already in them, 3D printed. So hopefully none of those are broken, but if they are, it'll be a simple case of super gluing them back on, because 3D print just snaps. It doesn't stretch before it breaks. And then here we've got the inlet manifold pipes going around. You can see all them there. And then here we're going to turn it around and we're going to add all the ignition wires from steel or copper wire. So that's very nice indeed. And then over here you've got an actual colour guide. Now here we've got the reflection of the light, and I can't see what I'm looking at, but we can see that basically everything is metallic. The whole thing is metallic. So yeah, interesting. The intake pipes here are they almost look like exhaust pipes, but it's not. They're intake pipes. I'm 99.9% sure they are. That's the exhaust port there, yeah. So just as with any rotary engine, they just throw oil and muck and everything out all over the fuselage. So there's some beautiful colour guides there of the engine. And then it's hard to tell when you've got one page. It's such good quality. It's so beautiful. It really is absolutely gorgeous. So here we've got fitting out the interior. So We got add 3 formers to the fuselage. That's very nice. Add PE floor, rudder bar and PE foot straps. That's all very nice. You can see here we've got pictures of hands. We've got hands and real things in the instructions, which is nice to see. Add control column and paint interior grey, green, blue mix. I'm assuming that's that XF26 colour, is it? Panel shown for rigging purposes. So fixed panels for fuselage forward before threading rigging through the fixing. Once cockpit interior tub is complete and fitted to lower wing part. So obviously this is one of those manuals. Sit down, take it to bed, bit of bed not reading, whatever. Have a really good read through it and make sure you understand everything he's talking about rather than come unstuck. So make sure you do that. So panel shown for rigging purposes. I'm assuming that's that panel there. So yeah, we fitted the floor and the control column, as you can see here. The rudder pedals for some reason are laid flat. You'd have thought they'd have been up like that, but not sure why that's shown like that. And you can see here is the real aircraft rudder pedals down the bottom, and you can see the grey, green, blue mix paint inside, and we can see the control column there. Now we're going to move on to the rest of the cockpit. So we're actually going to build up the tub. So it looks like this is one piece, and then we've got these little bits and pieces here. You can see this is either Richard himself or his builder holding all the parts and showing how it all goes together. Paint ammo box and tray aluminium. Paint fuel tank copper and fix with aluminium firewall now, question mark, or later. So it's giving you the option. And we've got all these little bits and pieces and greeblies going in the controls there. Very nicely done. And there's our completed cockpit tub with photo etch and resin abounding. And then coming over here, we've got the cockpit tub references. This is just amazing. I mean, you know, we all know how bloody wonderful wingnut wings are, but this is colour photos. It's just awesome. So there you can see the is that a wooden panel there? Yeah, it looks like a very thin wooden panel with all the brass fittings and everything. So you've got the compass mount, benzene regulator, pulsator, fixing for altimeter, spring mount, altimeter in position, spring suspended position, optional. Got the seat there, and then we've got the manometer, Bosch magneto, seatbelt attachment, and a Bosch magneto switch and chain, and then a Pfalz tachometer. Obviously the Pfalz is the manufacturer. And then coming over the page here we have the tachometer there, which is obviously the most important gauge for the pilot. And then we've got all these decals here, which are going to tell us where they all go. And then we've got all the 3D printed parts here shown on the 3D printed fret. Are they 3D? Yeah, they're 3D printed. And we can see there we've got all the gauges, and they're all marked, so you can see exactly which is which and where all those decals are going to go. So there's no real confusion there. You can see here we've got some additional piping that you might wish to add. Very nice. And then coming over the page, more colour references. So we've got all the gauges and everything there. Very nicely done. Do not fix PE gun supports at this stage, dry fit only. So they're going to be folded up and be fitted in. And we've got photo etch parts here going in. So this is all the bits and pieces we're going to add. Altimeter was suspended by 3 springs. So they're solid on here, but they'll be springs in reality. Then we've got 3D printed parts here. And coming over, test fit seat belts and attachments. So lots of test fitting. This is what I mean. Understand the instructions before you pick up a single part. Understand exactly what it is you're doing here and what you're being recommended. Fit seat and headrest only after fuselage is closed up, then post seat belts. Okay, that's interesting. I wonder why. Ball bearings aid alignment. Dry fit first to ensure no gaps. Drill holes bigger if necessary. Wow. So I'm guessing, we'll see in a minute, but I'm guessing, yeah, it looks like there's indentations in the resin, and then you put ball bearings in to aid alignment. What a fantastic idea. Rather than trying to cast the pins, paint and fit carburetor intake pipes. Dry fit fuselage halves to lower wing and remove and paint or excess resin. Dry fit fuselage halves to lower wing and remove and paint or excess resin from joints. And remove all paint or excess resin from joints. I think that should be remove all paint, not and. I thought it was remove and paint. Why are you going to take it off and paint it? So that's all dry fitted. And then test fit gun brackets do not fit yet. And then test fit gun brackets do not fit yet. You can see there's those gun brackets there. Remove raised detail, so that's obviously for a different option, or it's part of the moulding process. Maybe there was an error thing or something there. Seat only dry fitted at this stage, but you're getting actual pictures of the real model as you go through. Very nice. And then here we can see dry fitting fuselage house before committing to epoxy resin. Do not fix headrests at this point. You're going to end up with a pile of parts not fitted. Glued fuselage is offered to lower wing and epoxy resin when happy with fit. Beware, too tight a fit will create unwanted anhedral in wings. Remove excess material if necessary. Yeah, make sure it's just a slotted fit. Don't go pulling the wings up to close the gap, because that'll give you dihedral, and if it's too tight, you'll push the wings down. Test fit an epoxy resin firewall in place. Prepare all your sub-assemblies. So you've got your undercarriage, your engine, and your machine guns with their mounts there. Right hand ammo feed has a chamfered edge to ease the fit. So remember that, the right hand one. And then we've got our gun here. We've got ejector chutes are of different lengths, so make sure you get the right one on the right side. You're fitting the ejector chutes there to the guns. And then here we have, it's hard for me to see what I'm looking at here. Here we've got the leather pad for the pilot, and we've got the leather pad for the ends of the guns as well. So that's all very nice. We've got a fuel gauge going in there. Nice, it's all coloured to make you see it straight away. Windscreen PE and acetate cut to shape using supplied template. I noticed in the PE set PE sheet there is a template for cutting that out, and then we've got all these little brackets and that to hold it in place. So that's very nice. All fuselage elements should have been painted at this point. Wings prepared with white primer and gloss varnish ready for decals. Add horizontal stabilizers at this stage. So I was talking to Richard about this yesterday. What he likes to do is give everything a primer with white and then spray on a clear gloss. Okay, you should always really put decals on gloss. People say you don't need to, but I've seen people say you don't need to, and then they get a bit of silvering. The best way to not get silvering is use gloss. Don't ever put them straight on plastic. Okay, decals will not stick to plastic directly. Okay, or they will, but they'll come off in about 2 weeks. So we've got the gun brackets here being folded, which we've already test fitted, so they've already been folded, I think. And then here, fold PE cartridge ejector chutes. So they're there. And then we've got a pilot sat in, something's hanging out the side of the cockpit there. You can see here the machine guns in reality, how they are in real life. And then going over the page here, suggested strut fitting. So now we're starting the struts and rigging. Get yourself some model custom rigging. Dry fit top wing and cabane struts, trim fixing pins if necessary, fix cabanes in place. So there we go. So we're going to do all that. We've got the you can see the turnbuckles being used there. When thoroughly dry, place top wing and insert interplane struts in correct sequence. Trim fixing pins to achieve neutral dihedral. That means the wings have to be straight. When all aligned, run thin CA into lower strut ball joints only. Leave to dry and then remove top wing, leaving all struts in correct positions. Rig cabane struts and cross rigging on interplane struts. It's going to be continued. So you can see here's the rigging, and you've got the cabane struts here, and you've also got the interplane struts here. So get the rigging on there before you fit the wing is what he's saying. Now we can see here's the turnbuckles that you're getting in the kit. You don't have to buy any extras for this at all. Turnbuckle styles and rigging points. So you've got type A, B and C. These are obviously made by Gas Patch as well, and you can see these are the ones that they got. Now I don't know, I know that Gas Patch rigging turnbuckles are done as ABC. I don't know if that correlates with this, but just make sure you look at that carefully. Specially commissioned Gas Patch turnbuckle set with Poor Merit edition only. Okay, I'm not sure if this is the Poor Merit edition, but I did see some turnbuckles in there. 3D printed rigging turnbuckles. Yes, they are. They look exactly like that. So this is obviously the Poor Merit edition. I'm not sure what that means. As I said, lots of stuff you need to familiarise yourself with in here. Sorry if you heard that. That's my stomach. I'm hungry. Recommended rigging material, model casting. See? 0.2 or 0.13 available from the Aviattic website if he's ever got any stock, because it's so bloody hard to come by in this country. As soon as he gets any in, it's gone. Okay, I got some, but there we go. No, 3D printed struts have been labelled as if viewing from the front of the aircraft. Oh, stuff like that is just invaluable. Thank you for that, Richard. It is essential to dry fit and trim pins top, bottom, to avoid unwanted anhedral wing droop. So yeah, dry fit with all these resin parts. Notice as well they've got the angle on the end, which is a nice touch. And then here you can see top wing omitted from illustration to show completion of rigging. So you can see here all the rigging going in. I would recommend doing this when the wing's in place, because if you pull one of these struts over, model caster does have flex, but not much. Flying and landing wires enter holes drilled in the balls located at each strut end. Okay, so no turnbuckles there. Oh no, there are turnbuckles there. He's telling us to put turnbuckles in. So yeah, so he's just got the rigging going straight in there, but he's giving you the option to use the turnbuckles. So type A, it's going to be that one there. So you're going to put the turnbuckle in hole and then thread the model casting on there. And it looks like these are going directly to the wing. Attach rigging to underside points of upper wing. Attach upper wing, tape in place, and run thin CA into rigging ball joints. When dry, fix ends of rigging into lower wing positions. Ailerons and control horns fitted after top wing fitted. So there we go. So he's telling you exactly how to do it. So attach all your rigging to the underside points of upper wing. Okay, which I don't think he's showing us that here, is he? You can see it there. He's not actually showing us, not yet anyway, the upper wing. But basically, yeah, have it all there, so it's all hanging down. Fit the wing in place, get all the rigging out of the way, get some CA in there, glue the struts, let it dry, and then start to do the bottoms. Similar type B into ball fitting on Canberra, Pfalz D.VIII. There we go. You can see all the rigging there done. Type B turnbuckle into ball fitting. You can see one there is a lovely picture. Specially commissioned gas packs turnbuckle set with Porter Merit edition only. So he's showing the turnbuckles here, is he? No. Okay, undercarriage suggestion: fit undercarriage after rigging complete. Thank you for that. Choose loaded or in-flight tyre options. So you're going to have a slight flat spot, or you're just going to have a round tyre. You can see lovely views there of how it should all go. He's got the turnbuckles marked out, and he's got the rigging shown there as well. Top wing omitted from illustration for clarity. Choose in-flight or loaded tail skid. So you can see there's the in-flight, there's the loaded. Very nice. And then we've got, here it's saying fill the seam. I wonder what he means. I wonder if he means the seam there, where that part's gone in. I'll have to ask him that. I don't know why he's saying, you're not going to fill the seam obviously to where the rudder goes, but I don't know why he's saying fill seam. I can only assume it's that there where that piece goes into the rudder. We'll come over the page here. Fit engine. It does not rotate, so it's not a plaything. You can see there's the Wotan propeller with all the different wood grains in it. And then we've got the Balmer 125 with Imperial propeller. And then we've got finely add cowling and propeller of choice. Yes to 29 Staffel mates with 19318 Wotan propeller. There we go. Add 1.5mm diameter plastic rod or brass rod if preferred, cut to correct length to mount propeller. So you can actually make your own spindle for the prop. And then here we've got some beautiful images of a Wotan and an Imperial propeller. So that's very nice. Very cool. And you can see here's an image of the end of a propeller by the look of it. It looks like it's been made into something. They're coming over the page here. I know this has gone on a long time, guys, but this is like a bloody book. It's beautiful. All colour reproduction Pfalz 8 photos are used with permission of Michael Carlson. There's a beautiful scheme there. And then here's some lovely pictures of the rigging, the turnbuckles and everything. Really handy. Got the engine air intakes there. There's some more pictures of the rigging with the turnbuckles. More. I assume it is that area there he's saying fill, because there's no line there, so it's not about filling that seam. So very nice indeed. And then Silbergrau, it's a coating of dope mixed with aluminium flakes which are designed as a protection against the elements and to afford a degree of camouflage against the stormy skies above Flanders. Mix aluminium paint of choice with white, cream and a touch of black until a faint metallic context is achieved through a milky grey semi-sheen finish. There we go, there it is there it is in reality. And there's on the wheels there. So he's even telling you how to mix your paints. And then here we can see CAD renders by Lucas Rolak. So that's actual CAD renders of the completed model. Again, no turnbuckles, so that's how it's going to look if you don't use them. And then we've got standard edition decal sheet. So that's the decal sheet you get with the standard edition. Strut labelling. He's telling you again that the struts are labelled as if from the front. Typically, World War I German aircraft had their metal components painted in various shades of grey-green, but no reliable information can confirm these colours exactly. See the colour profiles are matched from mixing your favourite paint range. Some people use XF71, some people use XF21. I said 23 earlier and that was wrong. I might have even said 26, which is also wrong. It's 21 I was referring to. So XF71 is cockpit green, XF21 is sky. I find XF21 is closer to cockpit green than cockpit green is, but that's not the colour we're looking for here, but it's like a grey-green colour, I think. You'll know what you want to do. You know, you've seen pictures in wings instructions and stuff. So, common details. Whilst not wanting to trust solely the tones in photographs of the period, it seems clear that Pfalz D.VIII cowlings and undercarriage were painted in a darker shade as standard. Occasionally a photo gives a different impression. The profiles are Uinita and I's best guess at these. I hope I got your name right there. It's not also always possible to determine from photos which version was used on a particular aircraft. Use the Decal instruction drawings to determine the educated guess strut stencils for each aircraft scheme. So you can research this to your dying day, and then somebody else will come up with something that throws all your research out the window. So always bear that in mind. So we've got decals here for the struts. That's very nice. We've got the cabane struts there and then more struts there. So that's wonderful. Individual aircraft number on each strut. Bloody hell. He's gone to town with his decals. I know he does love his decals. Decals, whatever you want to call them. So here you can see we've got, this is the first scheme. Pilot unknown, Yester 14. Pfalz, August 1918. So that's quite an attractive finish. It looks like that's all done in that silver paint that you just talked about. And then here we have, again, we have Yester 14, Pfalz, August 1918, and that's a slightly different scheme. Yeah, this is 172, this is 154. So make sure you're using the right propeller when you build yours. And then you've got all your lozenge decals there and your German crosses there. And then here we've got another one, pilot and unit unknown. So again with that silver grey or the clear aluminium colour. And then we've got again unconfirmed Lieutenant Dare Reserve Paul Bomer, Yester 2 Vives May 1918. All the little notes here for your stencils and different decals on the wings and everything. And we've got option 5. That's quite attractive now. Again, this is over that silver colour, so it's probably painted in the field. So make sure you get your right shades that you want. And you've got the decals for the wings, decals for the lower wings, and then you've got your decals for your elevators there. The rest of this can all be painted. Okay, and then we've got pilot unknown. Sorry, this one was pilot unknown, photographed at Romoratin, April 1919, and sent to the US for evaluation. And then here we've got option 6, factory fresh appearance, possibly delivered to Yester 14 at Pfalz. So there's a brand new aircraft, so if you don't like your weathering, there you are. Or you like to see your models in museum finish rather than weathered. Number 7 is Ludwig Beckmann, Yester 56, Rumbeck Oost, August 1918. And then here we have serial unknown, VZFW, whatever that stands for, Heinrich Forstmann, Kest 1A, Mannheim, Sandhofen, October 1918. Killed in action 10th of October 1918, unfortunately. And then here we have a lovely turquoisey blue sort of colour, so that's going to stand out amongst your other models if you really want to make it stand out. But that one's Yester 29, autumn 1918. And then this one here is even more colourful again. It has that lovely colour, but this time we have stars and bars and all sorts. So it looks like fireworks going off, doesn't it? Bloody things. Yasta 29, autumn 1918. And then another option here, an option 11. Again in the silver, now we've got a black band and some yellow bits. So again, looking a bit brighter. That's VZFW F Peach Look, Yasta 56, Rumbeck, Ost, August 1918. And then here we have option 12, which is from Paul Baumer, Yasta to Vivace, May 1918. So I think that's the one that's on the card there, isn't it? I think that's that one. Not that card, this card. I think that is, yeah, that's Paul Baumer. And that's the one that's been built, I think. So there you go. And you can see that one is beautifully weathered with the shading and everything on the wheels. Very nice. Again, we've got our lozenge decals top and bottom. And that's it. So we only get 12 options. God, blimey, Richard, you could have given us some more options, couldn't you, really? God, 12 options, ridiculous. It's bloody great, isn't it? Right, so here we've got some real images here from World War One, all black and white, obviously. That's probably for gun testing. And then here we've got the nose on with the different types of propellers you can see here. And there's 5 of them lined up there. Looking very nice. And then here we've got some images of the completed model. So that's in that lovely green colour with the that's like fleur de lis there, isn't it, or something? And this is by Nigel Rayner. Great name, great name. So there we go. And you can see here we've had some additions here with some black pen. And he's crossed out the date there and put 23. Obviously there was a misprint. He wants to thank very much. My special thanks go to the main team that worked so hard and put up with my demands, pig-headedness and ignorance of the wonderful process you have all mastered throughout its creation. My apologies, but I really think it was worth it. So obviously he got carried away. We get passionate, don't we? I do the same. So there we go. So my wife, Amanda, and the kids, Will and Amelia, they know what this means to me and support me regardless of the sacrifices. Priceless. They say behind every good man there's a good woman, which is why I'm not a good man, because I don't have a woman. And I don't bloody want one either. Right then, so let's have a look at the decals, because there's a couple of sheets we haven't seen. I want to get these out very carefully without damaging them. Now I think there's 2 sheets in here, isn't there? Yes, there are. There's 2 sheets. It looks like it may, well, no it's not. I thought it might have been 2 sheets the same, but they're not. So these are going to come out of here. Bear in mind when you get your kit, these bags are not sealed. So if you are putting your kits somewhere damp, garage, loft or whatever, you might want to seal these bags up. You should never really stash your kits with the decals in them. I always take the decals and instructions out, anything that goes in the loft, and then file it in a filing book. So here we go, we've got lovely decals here with all the lozenge and everything. You can see them in all their beauty. As I say, I've heard rumours that the lozenge decals in wing kits aren't right, so you might want to look on Richard's website and get some for your Wing Wings models. There we go. Gorgeous, isn't it? That's the underside, that's the upper surface, and they've got the underside and the upper surface. So really bright and colourful. We've got all our gauges there. Beautifully done. I'm just looking on here, I can't see any edges. I'm wondering if these actually, this is one piece carrier film. I'm just wondering, I'm just going to look through a magnifier, because something you want to be very careful of. Some decal manufacturers, it's very unusual these days. Yeah, it looks like you have to cut out each decal individually very close to its edge. So there's no carrier film. Like if you put, the best way to describe it, if you put this decal in a bath of water, I think they would all come off together as one sheet. I will speak to Richard and ask. But I think that's what's going to happen. Decals used to be like this. The advantage with modern decals, you get the carrier film, so if you put it in a bowl of water, they would all float off separately and float around, which means you can just roughly cut them out and take one off at a time. The downside to that is, 1, you get carrier film on the edge. 2, if they're printed out of register, then you can get, and I have seen this, I'm not mentioning the manufacturers, but I have seen this, where the carrier film for that, say, is, I'm not going to use a pointer because I don't want to scratch them, but instead of being close around the edge with like a 1mm overlap, it's sort of offset by 1mm. So when you actually take the decal off, you get 2mm of clear here, and you leave 1mm of decal on the paper. So yeah, but these you'll have to cut out yourself. Always use scissors so you don't get a sharp edge. And you're going to be trimming the edges anyway. And I was talking to Richard about this yesterday, and he said always use a razor blade, brand new razor blade. Don't use a modelling knife; they're not sharp enough. So there's one for you to remember. So that's one decal sheet, and then here we've got another one, and it looks to be pretty much the same. We've got all the gauges and everything on here, but it looks to be it's just the same but without the crosses. So when you look at the two together, it looks like, see those two there, it looks like you've got the same here, but we do have more here. So you've got the elevators on there that you don't have on here. So there we are. Very nice indeed. So that can go back in its bag in a minute. There we go. I should have read this first. Cut the required decals as close to size as possible. Punch out or cut out small details as indicated, so they conform over the kit detail. Read the notes in the decal sheet carefully. Prime your kit with parts with white and then seal with gloss varnish and polish. Make sure you wash and remove any dust particles from the surface. Tackle the interior first. Assemble kit elements, prime and varnish, then apply instrument decals. Screen printed versions are supplied. Do not attach wings to struts and fuselage before decals are applied and sealed. I recommend applying the undersurface decals first. Do not attach wings to struts and fuselage before decals. Okay, yeah, so do basically decal the wings before you assemble everything. And then, just like I tell you all the time, do not over soak. Okay, some people put the decals in water and then go and have a cup of coffee. Put them in water just a few seconds, put them on a piece of blotting paper, let the job do its work. So yeah, mild decal softeners can be used over raised detail, but use sparingly and do not overwork. You may loosen the ink. When you are happy that all is in place, absorb any surface moisture with a paper towel or hairdryer and leave to dry thoroughly. Only attempt to trim any decal overhang with a fresh razor when thoroughly dry. Seal and finish with your preferred eggshell or matte varnish. So there we go. Enjoy your modelling, Richard. So hopefully what I can do, actually I should have taken some yesterday. He had some scrap bits of decal. I should have picked up a little handful and we could do some tests on camera and see how we get on with them. So there we go. So that's Transtoff printed linen and that's Transtoff printed linen. So okay. Right, so that's those, and then this one here, I think there's only one in this bag. Again, that bag's not sealed, so be careful. And this one actually has the paper on that you normally have on decals, the others don't. But these are the same. Oh no, these are actually, okay, these are normal decals. Alright, so you can see on here, we have, if I can catch it in the light, we have the carrier film around the edge. So they are just normal decals you can roughly cut around there and then slide it off onto your model. But these are all your stencils and everything for your struts. You've got an instrument panel there as well. So you've got 3 lots of instrument panel decals in this kit, so you can really afford to mess up. So there we go. Yeah, so these are normal, so you just take them off as you would normally do with any cartograph decal, whereas the others are the professional super duper Aviattic ones. Okay, and there's the special decal sheet for Paul Baumer. And then we've got more stencils there. So that's absolutely awesome. Absolutely loving that. I'm just going to, while I think of it, I'm going to take this paper out and get it underneath there because I don't want the back of that. There's a reason that paper's in there. Richard wouldn't spend the time to put it in there if he didn't have to. So that's going to stop anything sticking to our decal and we can seal it up just like that. Right, let's have a look at this kit. As you can see, we have the lovely kit box. I just paused there, guys, to clear a fog in my throat. And yeah, I've had an email from Ray over at Winsock. And basically they have a Facebook page, and he is actually putting up a 9-page, by the time you see this video it will be there, a 9-page reprint of his book that he did on the Pfalz D.VIII that started this project off apparently. So go over to Facebook and take a look. So we're going to just take stuff out of the box as it comes. So we've got these beautiful 3D printed, these are done by Gas Patch. Beautiful 3D printed turnbuckles, type A, B and C. I'm guessing there's going to be something on the instructions here. There we go, they're telling you how to use them. Just snap them off, drill a hole, put them on. And there we go. So you see they're 3D printed resin. Now these are correctly sized apparently, because a lot of people don't like the size of 32nd scale turnbuckles and use 48th, which are actually a bit too small. So yeah, that needs paying attention to. Somebody needs to do something about that. So I'm sure somebody will, in the name of Aviattic. So there we go. So there's our beautiful 3D printed turnbuckles, and as we said, they only come with the special edition of the kit. I'm assuming this is the special edition. I have a bag here with, look at that, we've got some 3D printed parts. We have what looks like harnesses, but I wouldn't swear by it. It looks like harnesses. We have some plastic rod for the spinner, or for the prop should I say, and we have those lovely ball bearings, and they're for helping the fuselage halves locate together. How wonderful is that? We have a bag here with a propeller, and this is going to be, is this 3D printed or cast? I'm assuming it's cast because it looks like it's got a gate on it. Be very careful how we get this out of the bag so as not to break anything. But yeah, it certainly looks cast to me. It's going to need a bit of filler in there, a little bit of super glue or something, just to clean it up. You can see the casting on the front there is gorgeous. The retaining plate, very nice indeed. We've got the 4 holes in there for fitting something onto the back, no doubt. So that's that one. Beauty of that is with it cast, you don't get all the printing lines, which are pretty much unavoidable with 3D printing. And then here we've got the other type of prop, and again this looks like it's cast, and it's beautifully cast. You've got the lovely detail there on the front of the prop, as you can see. So those two are just going to glue together with some super glue and look as they're supposed to look, 2 separate props. Beautiful. Don't forget to get your wood graining skills and everything on them. We have some clear parts here. This is obviously a fuel level gauge or something like that, because they sometimes had a filter in the glass screen you could see through to check the flow. But there we go, so you've got 3 of those in there. I don't think you're going to need 3, you're probably going to end up with a couple of spares, if that's what they are. Here we've got the pilot figure, so this is probably Bomer. You can see he's got his big jacket on there, and very beautifully done. This is probably a master from I'm trying to think of David Allen Wings cockpit figures. So I think he's ceased to trade now. But there we go. That's beautiful, isn't it? So you've got the undercut on the coat as well. That's a beautiful resin figure. I won't even attempt to paint that. And then here we have some photo etch. It looks like these are goggles, and then we've got the German cross wearing around his neck. It's nice, isn't it? Lovely. Glasses, goggles, whatever they are, probably goggles. So there we go, that's those. And then we have more resin parts. So we have our resin, very nice bags. They're very difficult to open. Not like some of the cheaper bags you get that you just try and open them and the bag just tears apart. Here we have the center axle with the fairing on it. Again, this looks to be cast, but it's very nice, and it's got all the positions for the struts in it by the look of it. They look like ejector pin marks, but they can't be, not cast resin. And then we've got the loaded and the unloaded tail skid. Okay, so this one's going to be if she's sitting on her wheels, and this one's going to be in flying. So that's very thoughtful to give us that, rather than a lot of people that don't think of that and do all sorts of silly things. Then we have a bag here with wheels, so very nicely done. We got the spokes there, So if we have the hole where the valve is behind, you will see the valve in behind there with the spokes. So that's beautifully done. So we'll have two that are flat. You go there, you can see it now. So you can put that like that, and you'll see the valve in there behind, and you've got your spokes in there rather than just having a flat piece of plastic that you get with some kits. And here's the ones with the flatted spot. So you've got the weight on the wheels, and then here you can see in the back, beautifully thinned out to give us that thin canvas look rather than thick chunky plastic. So I'll just show you again. Get that in the right place. It's not in the right place, but you can see the detail in behind there. Thoughtfully done. So that's very, very nice indeed. Yes, this is a long review guide, but this kit is worth it because it is stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. You can just see the hours and hours of work that's gone into this. So here we've got, I won't get this one out, we've got the seat. Yes, I will, because the seat has some beautiful detail on it. If you think it's too long, just fast forward, press the forward arrow button, it'll flash you forward 5 seconds. But there you can see the seat, we've got the leather on there, and the bracing and everything to keep all the leather in place. So that's very nicely done. And then we have, this is going to be elevators, I'm assuming. We have an ammo box there, and we're going to have this tray at the bottom. So you can see on the ammo box you've got that lovely detail. Looks like it's 3D printed originally and then cast, because we can see print lines on it. That's nothing a bit of primer won't hide. And then we've got here, we've got the base of the seat, so that's going to slot into there like that. You can see we've got the lovely leather finish on there. I'm going to bring the light to the side so we get a bit more of a shadowing effect. You'll see it all looking lovely. Very nice. And then here we've got some brackets for the window, I think that's what they are. So we'll just put all those out of the way for a minute, put those over there and put the bag with them so that they stay with their relevant bag. That's fuselage halves, we'll leave those for a minute. And then we've got the actual main cockpit. And then here we've got, again we've got, these look like they're cast parts. We've got little bits and pieces, that's chutes for the guns. And then we've got ammo chutes for the guns there. And that's our leather pads for the gun sight and for the, not the gun sight, it goes over on the bulkhead. And we've also got the 2 leather pads there for the backs of the guns. We've got fuel tank, oil tank, whatever it is, and we've got our cabane struts in there. You can see those in there. Beauty with all the rivet marks on them. In fact, we'll have a look at that tank because it does look very, very nice indeed. Alright, so battery went there, I had to start again. So here's our oil tank, fuel tank, whatever it is. That's going to sit in the pilot's area, or in the front of there. You can see again we've got the lines from the 3D printing, but no worries, that's all going to disappear. And then we've got our cabane struts here, which are beautifully cast. A little bit of clean up around the edges. You can see we've got the pins on the correct angles and everything for the wings and that to pick up on. So that's very nice indeed. So we'll keep all these in their bags so they don't get lost. I left that other lot out because there's so much of it. Remember guys, if you are new to multimedia kits, this resin can be quite brittle. That is the downside. The plus side is, we've all had plastic kits where small parts are broken, and we know that when they break, they generally stretch and then break. So when you glue them back together again, you don't have the same shape as you used to have. The beauty of resin, if I was to break one of these cabane struts now, just snap it, I could super glue it back together and you'd never know it was ever broken because it just breaks. It doesn't stretch and then break, it just literally snaps. So that's the beauty. Here we have the engine cowling and the bulkhead that the engine is going to mount onto. So that's all very nice. You see the engine is going to go on that side, I think. We've got the air cooling hole there. And then here we've got the engine cowl again. Bit of a clean up around the edge, but you can see that everything is feathered down so it looks lovely and thin. And we've got the beautiful detail on the top. Beautiful rivet detail on there, you can see. On those stiffeners. That's just going to sit on there like that. with your engine in behind. So very, very nice indeed. You know, a lot of you are asking me to build this. I think I might after the camel, because it is lovely, and it's just, and there's not a lot to it. That's the other thing. There's not a lot to it. So there's our final resin parts, and we've got, well, final cast resin parts anyway for now, except for the wings. But we've got ailerons and elevators in there, all beautifully done in one piece. So they're all going to fit nice and light as well, so they just sit on there easily with a drop of super glue. And then here we have a lovely little, beautifully presented little envelope, and we have the photo etch, which looks to be nickel steel or nickel silver. It's probably nickel silver actually. And yeah, very nice indeed. We've got buckles there for the harnesses. We've got our brackets there for the machine guns. There's that template for the windscreen. There's that guide for the rigging that's going inside the fuselage. We have the floor here. Some other bits and bobs and pieces and levers and that, everything on there you can see. All very nice. And in the background you have the genuine picture of the real thing, which is nice to see. And then on the back of there we have another image of the real thing. So very, very nice indeed. All restored, be careful. Be very, very careful with restored stuff. You never know. Beautiful. And then here, this is the pièce de résistance. This is the 3D printed parts by Gas Patch. Now, I'm not going to get these out for fear of breaking them, because you will see why. They are so very, very fragile. You can see those beautiful machine guns. They are stunning. We've all seen Gas Patch machine guns. And then here's that beautiful array of gauges and everything, switches, dials for the... let's turn this light off actually. For the interior there, we've got all our struts there in 3D printed resin. With the wonderful, we do have to get these out, don't we? We'll put the light back on. I'm going to get these out and I'll be straight back. Alright, so we have a box of absolutely beautifully printed parts. Now these guns will just fall out of the back because they fell out when I took them out. But we can see here, these are absolutely stunning. Beautiful detail. No need for brass rolling of cooling jackets or anything like that. Just absolutely gorgeous. Beautifully done, as with all Gas Patch stuff. Everything Gas Patch is just beautiful. And then there's the actual barrels that are going to go down inside them. You see there. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And then here, this is that plate of parts. As you can see, we've got all the controls, gauges, everything, switches, knobs for inside the cockpit. And then we have our struts, all labelled so that you see where they go. Beautiful. The detail on the ends. And they're all nice and straight as well, which is nice to see. So there we go. Looking, I thought some of these had a ball on them. Okay, the ball looks like it's probably moulded onto the wing. All right. And here we have our undercarriage legs. I'll just get one of these out. There's the beautiful, you can see the rubber rope at the bottom, all beautifully done for the suspension. Again, angled pins on the ends for correct location. And then here we go. Need to be really careful with these. And there's our cylinders. 3D printed cylinders, so no mould lines, no troubles about flash, ejection pin marks, sinkage, anything like that. And all of the push rods beautifully flying into scale, all cast on. You're going to have to be really careful getting those off. But just have a look at those guys. Absolutely beautiful. Okay. And then we have our intake pipes here. We have our casing here. There's the, I think that's the main engine casing, is it? No, this must be the main engine casing here. It's going to push out the back by the look of it. Yep. So there's our main engine case with all the beautifully printed on bolts and nuts and bolts and everything on there. Beautifully done. And then finally this one here, I'm not exactly sure what this is. Ah, that's our rudder pedal assembly, okay. Oops, don't want to drop it. That's our rudder pedal assembly with the rod you can see going back there. So beautifully done. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So there we are. So that's all the 3D printed parts. I'm not going to try and put those back in this beautiful clear wallet because I'm frightened I'm going to break them if I try and rush it on camera. So we'll just carry on look at these last two parts here. So these are the main parts. These are our wings. Obviously, if you didn't know that, you probably shouldn't be modelling. Very carefully remove this tape. We'll have a look at the bottom one. So just going to remove this tape, and I don't want to ruin this piece of black card because that piece of black card is going to be fantastic for when I do photo etch. So when I put a piece of photo etch on there, you'll see it. So these are absolutely gorgeous. They're dead straight, as you can see. No warpage like we get with the Fokker DR1 from Meng. The detail is sublime. Gorgeous, gorgeous detail. There's those ball sockets at the bottom there. You can see. Really, really nicely done. So yeah, and there's the cockpit interior. You're going to put a photo etched floor over that, so you're going to be hiding all of that. You've got stiffeners to go in there and everything. As you can see, it says when fitting the fuselage, be very careful because it's going to be very easy to put anhedral in there. So there we go. And the upper wing, I know you want to see it. Just gently peel this tape back. Come on, there we go. You can see the upper wing does actually have a tiny bit of a bow in it, but it's literally, I mean, feather pressure pulls it back. It's nothing like as rigid as the plastic parts. But you can see on there we've got those balls, I think, moulded on as well. There's the upper surface of the upper wing. With the hinges for the ailerons there by the look of it. A little bit of clean up required around the sides, but that's just what you come to expect with resin. But we can see all the beautiful stitching on the ribbing. All beautifully done, and I'm assured the Aviattic decals will go down over and show all that through as well. So very, very nice indeed. Okay, and there we go. So I almost forgot something and I nearly ended the video, and it's actually not a piece of card. That is actually a piece of double-sided foam. What is that for quality? It's to keep it all flat and rigid. That is really rigid. That's going to be fantastic for doing my photo etch. Right, so I nearly forgot about these parts here because I put them to one side to save them. So here we go. We have a couple of lovely little bags here. Now, do these bags open? I'm not sure if they do or not. I don't think they do. So what we'll do is we'll grab our knife and we will, yeah, that must open. It looks like it does. No, what we'll do is we'll just cut the end of the bag open. We can always seal it back up with a piece of tape. So this in here is a beautifully done 3D printed. This is the main carcass, the main frame, if you like, of the cockpit. So you can see here your seat's going to go in there where that angled bulkhead is, I'm guessing. That's where the oil tank's going to fit. Your machine guns are going to fit in here. Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautifully done. There's no name or anything on it, so I don't know who's done it. I don't know if it was gas patch. Could well have been gas patch. It's certainly the same colour resin. It's stunningly gorgeous. You can see the detail there for where the firewall's going to go and the engine's going to mount and everything, I believe. But, yeah, that is beautiful. Give you a full sort of 360 of it. That's, yes, that's the other. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of 3D printed resin, if I'm honest. I would rather have styrene for certain things. But the beauty of this, and there's no doubt about it, you know, in styrene, this would all be separate pieces. You wouldn't have these longerons, and everything would have ejector pin marks in it, and possibly shrinkage depending where you get it from, and short shots and all sorts. But you know, there's no doubt about it. Having this just molded in one piece, you just literally take it off the frame, clean it up, paint it, job done. You know, you haven't got any alignment worries. You haven't got to worry about it being square, getting the angle right on that, test fitting it in the fuselage and all that. You just use it, you know, as it is, just use it. Follow the instructions, job done. So that is gorgeous. And then here, finally, and I really mean finally this time, we have a bag, a resealable bag, which is very nice. And these are clearly our fuselage halves. You can see it's a tiny little Pfalz, this one. So, again, you can see here the beauty of this. We have this beautiful smooth finish, all of the little raised areas where your control lines are going to come out and everything, beautifully done. There's the flanges there for your cabane struts, and then we've got all the planking detail on the inside. I'm guessing that's planking detail. No ejector pin marks, beautiful. And we've got these divots here to put rivets in to align it all. So maybe that's the seam he's talking about. But this looks to be cast, and that's just going to fit together like so, like that. And he sensibly, why don't kit manufacturers do this? He sensibly put the seam to one side so that you can have all that beautiful detail down the centre. So yeah, oh, how lovely is that? You see, if this was in styrene, that would probably all be separate little photo etch parts. Certainly here, that would all be separate. Or there would be a separate panel that goes in and you'd have to fill either side. Yes, on this one you've got to fill one side, I know that. But, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I think this could be a wingnut wing. I keep calling it wingnut wings. I think this could be a World War I Wednesday project. I really do. The other thing I spoke to Richard about, I want to get hold of one of his beautiful wooden sheds and show you that on the channel. They are just gorgeous. So there we are. So that has been a review of this gorgeous, gorgeous kit from Aviattic. Now then, price. He was doing these on show yesterday, a show price of £200, and with a retail of £245, I think that was a bloody bargain. And I know that £200 for a model kit, it's like, oh my god, that's a lot of money. But in this day and age, I mean, unless you want to go down the Rodin route, then you're looking at, you know, for a wingnut wings kit, any wingnut wings kit, you're looking, other than the sort of less desirables, but the more desirable ones, you're looking 180 plus up to like 300 quid for a single seat fighter like this, which is silly money. And then when you get that wingnut wings kit, the decals probably aren't going to be any good. You're probably going to want to add 3D printed parts to the engine. You're probably going to want to get aftermarket seat belts. You may want to get some aftermarket wheels. Then you might get photo etch to add some detail to it. And then, you know, you've got to get your turnbuckles and all that. This box, this is like one of these Verifier DX chip kits, the deluxe ones. Everything you need is in this box. All you need are glues and paints, because you don't need to buy any aftermarket, because it's all here. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And, you know, added to the fact it's got all this gas patch resin, all this beautiful 3D printed resin here. You've got this beautiful central part here, and then all this molded resin here is just absolutely to die for. It's gorgeous. The wings are stunning. The instruction manual, you know, it's absolutely, I better get this out of the way before I break it, but the instruction manual is just stunning. You know, you've got real photographs of the model being built, CAD images, real photographs of the real thing. You've got all your references in there. You know, you don't even need to buy any reference material. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I want to thank Richard very, very much for letting me have this. And I think you should all thank him by going and getting yourself one, because he's just done a fantastic job. And as you saw from the foreword I read out in the instructions, it's been a long and painful journey to get to this. So I know Ray will be watching this. Thank you very much for your kind offer, Ray. And if it hadn't been for you offering me that, I never would have spoken to Richard about the kit, and then probably I would have definitely visited his stand. That's the word I was looking for at Telford. I was looking for him everywhere, and then somebody told me it was over in that corner, so I went over and there he was. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Really, really love it. So yeah, I think this could well be, don't hold me to it, but this could well be the next project. Or I may do another wingnut wings to get another one under my belt before I go messing this up. Because having all the rigging and all the photo etch, all the rigging and the 3D printed resin and all that in together, I think it's going to make for a large, heavy learning curve. I think I'd rather learn one at a time, and I still haven't mastered rigging, and I still haven't rigged with model casting rigging yet. So there we go. But model casting rigging is the one to get. Okay. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Any questions, comments, pop them down below, and I'll see you next week. This was going to be along with some work, but it's been so long. This video is going to be WNW Wednesday for this week. I'll see you all soon. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.